Hi, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Hi. This is going to be your general reading for June 2020. It is a general reading, so the messages will not resonate with everyone. So please check back to your Moon and Rising sign. Um, I want to give a shout out to Johnny B. I got your email yesterday. I haven't responded back to you, but I wanted to tell you thank you so much for those pictures. And it's so funny. There's you and two other people that I always know when I'm going to hear from them. It's that a weird kind of connection that I can't quite explain myself, but I always know when I'm going to hear from you. And there's two other people like that. And it was so funny the pictures that you sent because I am trying to do the same thing. So I'm going to respond back to you later today. It is always such a pleasure to hear from you. Okay. I'm so glad you're doing okay. Now, with that being said, we are coming out of a full moon lunar eclipse that occurred at 15 Sagittarius. As you know, eclipses come in pairs. So we will have a second one on the summer solstice when the sun moves into the sign of Cancer. That will be June 21st. I'm not exactly sure where that moon's going to fall. I'm having to work with two different computers for my astrology software because the astrology software SolarFire is not supported on the Mac. So I got to use two computers when I'm looking at stuff. So all right, that's taxing my skills a little bit, but I'll get used to it. So let me see. We will also have Mercury going retrograde, I think on the 17th or 18th of this month. It will retrograde it will station retrograde at 14 Cancer and then go retrograde at 15 the following day. But we also have this inordinate amount of planets that are in retrograde. We have Jupiter in retrograde, Pluto's in retrograde, Venus is in retrograde, Neptune is in retrograde. I think there's one more. I'm not exactly sure. But there's a lot of planets in retrograde right now. So, and then we just had the nodes shift signs, right? They went from Cancer and Capricorn into Sagittarius and Gemini. And that's really interesting to me because in looking at all of the protests, Sagittarius rules the masses. Gemini and getting your message out across a distance. But as well, Gemini rules communications, which is the local thing. So it's really quite interesting to see what is happening. And having Saturn move into Aquarius, this is about the liberation of oppressed things. Saturn oppresses and suppresses and limits and constricts and confines. Aquarius is about liberation and freedom. So this is really a very, very interesting time. I think I told you guys, what was it? I don't know, the last open reading that I did, that what you are looking at is a birth of a whole new way of life for humanity, not just in your own country, but this is all over the world. And I was telling you about how excited I am to see those particular changes come about. So it's a very interesting time to be alive. Pay attention, the universe is speaking to you. So with that said, I have the Radiant White deck. I have the La Vida Sibila. I will pull both an angel answer and a romance angel card. And then we will wrap the reading up with a golden Nostradamus. Hopefully my camera won't shut off because it's been doing something weird. And I haven't been able to figure it out. I tell you what, Mac is like the Cadillac of computers. It's fancy. And I don't know half the stuff it can do. I had it for a whole week and I was afraid to touch it. So I finally broke down and bit the bullet and got one. So here we go. 7 of Cups. That's interesting. Oh, well. Knight of Cups. Huh. Well, what do you know? The Hanged Man. Well, well, well. That Hanged Man. Okay. 7 of Wands. So now I have 2 sevens. The Hierophant. That's interesting. Hmm. The Four of Wands. This is some kind of contractual issue. I don't know what. Six of Coins. Oh, well. Knight of Wands. Isn't that something? Huh. And the reverse King of Cups. Well, well, well. So we are dealing with a water sign male. Well, yes and no. Um, we all can embody the masculine and the feminine. And so, this could also be a female, but my intuition is telling me this is a male. Underneath that reverse Two of Cups. Well, well, well. So what I'm looking at is some kind of breakup or separation. Doesn't matter if it's a romantic relationship or a business relationship, because sometimes that's what the Two of Cups can be about. There is arguments, there's discord, there's no harmony here. There's been a change of heart. Maybe one of you is spending more time with another person or entity, if this is a business thing, than you are with your normal regular partner. And by partner, I can mean your significant other, but also your business partner. I think sometimes to just interpret the Two of Cups as a love or romantic relationship can be, it does not do justice to those people who aren't in that type of situation, but yet are still struggling in some kind of partnership. One, two, three cups, one, two, three wands, a pentacle, and two major arcana. Now, two knights speak to doubting the sincerity of a male friend. But as I said to you, this reads to me like a contractual issue. And the reason why, okay, and what is a marriage proposal or a marriage if not a contractual issue, right? It's a contract. Um, it's a verbal, what do you call it? Like a promissory note. We get engaged. It's like a promise, right? Then we make the announcement. Then it becomes public. So now everybody knows that there's this union that will be coming between the two of you. Then you get married. You sign the paper. There is your contract. You stand before everyone and say you promise to do X, Y, or Z till death do you part, in sickness and in health, yada, yada, yada. Then you move in together, right? And then you start splitting the bills and accruing things and buying things and perhaps producing children, getting pets. But it is a contractual issue, because if that relationship breaks up, guess what? You got to go to the law to divide that crap up equally, right? Okay, so it's a contractual issue. But there's something has occurred, and it is this, that it's quite confusing. It tells me that there's a lot of choices to be made. There's a lot of things to choose from. There are a lot of things swirling around this issue, which maybe you do. The cups to me represent the emotions. Someone is highly invested emotionally in all of these things, but there's so many things they don't know what the most important thing is. Now, 2 sevens can warn of false friends, okay? But 2 sevens can also, hold on. You know I got y'all covered. 2 sevens can also speak to self-confidence issues causing instability in the relationship. But honestly, I don't think that's coming from this guy. except to say maybe it might be a fear of someone leaving. Yeah, okay. And right now, that's on hold. Maybe it's on hold because we can't figure out what the hell's going on. Yeah. To me, this speaks to the idea of not knowing what's happening, not knowing exactly how I feel, but yet I'm going to get out there and I'm going to fight and I'm going to do whatever it is I got to do. You know, I read something that I haven't seen before and I wrote it down. You know, because I always tell you that to me, the fact that he's got on two different shoes kind of tells me that he had to get up in a hurry and do something. He's, oh shit, got to pull my boots on. He just got up and went to work, right? But there's something else that I ran across and I wrote it down because it was quite interesting to me and it never occurred to me what this was about. So let me see what it says. It is about spontaneity. But the two shoes, different shoes, represent somebody being at odds with something, about something. Okay? Now, I don't know where I saw that, but I wrote it down someplace. Oh, actually, that's a Seven of Cups that I'm looking at. So let me look at the Wands. That's what I'm trying to do because I included it in my book. Remember how I used to read from my phone? Now I put it all together. So hold on. The boots being different can indicate that the person is at odds over something, but is on high ground and can handle it. And that was the name of my card. It is being in a better place than you realize because you're standing at the top of that heap, beating back all that other stuff, right? And I'm not exactly sure what this Six of Pentacles is trying to tell me in this past column. What I can tell you is that there is definitely this, a lot of times this guy sometimes will, instead of showing up exactly as the character, somebody in a position of authority, in a hierarchical structure, maybe this does represent standing before a priest and getting married. There are the two keys. There's something secret about it. Okay, the two keys say that there's something unknown about it. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors, but there. But sometimes it can just show up in terms of what it represents, being ruled by Venus. Venus rules your second house. Your second house is all about your own personal possessions, not the ones you have in a marriage relationship with anybody, but everything that you own, earn, or owe personally. So this could be about your own 401k, your own stocks and shares and bonds, your own car, your own mortgage, your own house, your own personal property and possessions. It's your personal finances and wealth. It also rules your own values and value systems, right? And I think somebody's at odds about something. This is the card of shacking up, but it's also the card of celebrations, having something to celebrate, finally being on a solid foundation. But it's a 4, so it could also speak to something being stagnant, okay? There's something about this guy because he has not stepped over the water yet. So that's why it tells me that whatever this thing is, it's on hold. And I don't know if this, what I really can't get a handle on what's happening. It's just a weird kind of a spread. But what I can say for sure is that this guy sends a message back in, and it's a hasty message. Just as fast as this news comes in, the effects of it can disappear. So I'm not sure if it's actually about this, the sharing of property or the division of it. I think what's interesting is that there are 3 people here. There's this idea of 3 people. 1 person, 2, 1 person, and 2. So I don't know why he's reversed. I never like to see a king reversed. Okay? So let's read about this reversed king first. And then I'm going to take a look to see if these pip cards tell me anything being next to the Hierophant and or the Hanged Man. But first, let's take a look at this king. I never like to see a reverse king. Hopefully my laptop won't shut off. Like I said, it's doing something funny and I can't figure out what it is. I'll have to call them people back. The meaning: possessive, overbearing, selfish, dishonesty, double dealing, roguery, I love that word, exaction, injustice, vice, scandal, and loss. It represents someone who cannot be trusted, especially in the business and financial sectors. He may be inclined to use his superior education and privileged social contacts to take advantage of others and deceive people who may be friends, who may themselves be friends. This implies that the person is in a position of perhaps authority, and also that he is in a position of, I don't know, the same thing, kind of a higher elevated position. Okay? It implies that you will be well advised not to become involved in any way, but particularly in business matters, with any unknown man, no matter how enticing the offer or idea may initially seem. It tells you to avoid his wrath and not get on his wrong side. It may be indicating an instance where you will feel misled and or badly treated. It may be an indication of being double crossed or a deal gone sour. It may be indicating that there may be an issue of infidelity within the relationship. It may also include an instance where someone, usually the male, is determined to control all around him. It may be an indication of double dealing, loss, misunderstandings, and disagreements. He is one who may be filled with anger and who may become excessively flirtatious. He can appear sullen, demanding, whoppish, and overly sensitive. He may appear honorable at first, but will soon show his true colors. Take extra care when dealing with him. Appearing reversed, this is a warning to watch your back. Now, I don't know if some of you are trying to buy a house, but this guy sends out a message. And it definitely has to do with either sharing, division, or giving up something. Okay? Most definitely. So now, let me take a look to see if I can come up with any of this information. I'm already at the Seven of Wands. So let me see if, with the Hanged Man, it asks you to look at all options and to not be stubborn and or headstrong at this time, as being stubborn will not solve anything. Yep, sometimes this person can be dogmatic and refuse to move out of their position. Why? Because they are right. Okay? It says, do not be afraid to submit, as it will not reflect adversely on your character. Look at all the options and be prepared to compromise. But I don't think you can compromise with this guy. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't think it's going to be possible. Okay? Let me move back to the cups. Excuse me. Oh, God. I've been out in my garden. My tomato plants are kind of giving me fits. I'm going to have to, I think, what do you call it? Self-pollinate them. All right. Nothing about the Seven of Cups next to the Hangman or the Hierophant. We've done the Seven of Wands. Let's go to the Four of Wands to see if there's anything extra here that it can tell me. Nothing about the Four of Wands. And so now we will move to the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles. All right, here we go. Now, appearing with 3 Wands cards, it is telling you to shift your focus from your work to your personal life. You need to find ways to relax and slow down your mind and body. It may be prompting you to check your health and well-being. Some care needs to be taken, as prevention is better than a cure. Okay, I don't see that. I'm not going to tell you that that's not a true statement because it is, but that's not what's happening here. It is not. Let me give you the meaning of the Two of Cups reversed, because this is either the situation as it is now or the situation that will be coming up over this next, what do you call it, few days. Arguments, mistrust, disagreements, conflict, betrayal, separation, broken promises, broken romance, the end of a relationship, disharmony, divorce, unfulfilling and unsatisfying relationships. There's that struggle that's going on underneath there. So what I'm going to do, I don't know, I'm going to take a look at the Sibilas. I'm going to look at the Seven of Cups first. Okay? Then I'm going to look at this Hanged Man. Then I'm going to look at this Six of Pentacles. And I might even take a look at this Knight of Wands. Okay? And since both of these guys are looking this way, back into the past, okay, I might start with the Knight of Wands before I do the Six of Pentacles. I definitely want to look at the Seven of Cups to see what is happening here. The Amalato, the Donna Maritata, and the Riunione. Now, this doesn't basically brings health and well-being to the forefront. But as a situation, this speaks to any situation that is ill, tainted, contaminated, that needs fixing or healing. Sometimes this can be the idea of a female trying to fix her partner, and that is a prime motivation for her being in the relationship. But we also see the Riunione. Now, that card can be about a reconciliation, but it can also be the idea of simply that, a meeting taking place, an interview taking place. We see that we are here with the Donna Maritata. She can be the woman with children, but honestly, the interpretation of the card is she doesn't necessarily have to have children. She will be someone who is practical, down to earth, kind, generous, willing to help. Now, I don't understand why the Amalato has come out. I don't know if this is telling me that the person is confused and not sure if coming back is going to help the situation or heal the situation, which may be why the message of the Knight of Cups is suspended, right? The situation is not good at the moment. It's kind of sick, it's kind of ill, but yet nothing is happening. I'm going to look at this Hanged Man. Now, on the off chance that this really is about somebody being sick, melancholia, depression. The Sacerdote. Wow, and the Militare. Well, the melancholia is just that. Sadness, depression, longing for the past. Not knowing how good it was until you've lost the person or the thing that you most cared about. Now, the Sacerdote can be an interesting character because he will typically represent a man, a single male, but at the same time, he can be somebody who is, in terms of a relation, he can either be someone who is that you can confide in and trust in, or he can be somebody who's very cold. Here, along with the Militare, is another suggestion of somebody who, as a profession, could wear a uniform, but at the same time, can be somebody who has great physical strength and reserves to just like plow through something, right? Now, I don't know what's happening with those cards. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. I'm gonna look those three cards up because the three of those together are not fitting for me in a cohesive manner. Maybe I gave you some attributes of the person. Maybe the person is in the military. We see these two knight characters. They usually do battle. Maybe you got two men to choose from. I don't know. That's the three people. So let's take a look at the Seven of Wands. The Gran Consolazione. Well, I've been victorious in stamping down all of that crap that's coming up from the bottom. That's what it says. It speaks about success in all areas of life. Speranza, the hope card. Well, I don't know. Obviously, you're fighting or you're in conflict or you're opposed against somebody or yourself, whatever the case may be. Maybe thus far you have been successful, but this says if you're going through that kind of an energy, don't give up. That's what it says. But here is the carefreeness card. And that is interesting because it can sometimes indicate, yes, a sexual relationship, but more likely than not, it indicates the idea of a miscalculation, of making a mistake. However, it's still a very positive card. This card and the Fortuna are the two most positive cards in the Sibila deck. So maybe this is saying that, maybe through faith alone, you've succeeded through faith alone, and things are not as bad as they could be, which is another message of this card, because sometimes this negates negativity. It lessens or belittles the effect. Okay? So what is this message that's coming from this reverse king? That's what I don't get. Damn it. A return, a trip, a visit. Something that was stagnant, now moving. The Prigione. Well, isn't that interesting? And the Amore. Mm, 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 mm. Well, I don't even know quite what to make of that. And all of the energy is traveling this way. Let me show you the cards. See? Now, on the off chance that this guy has a drug, an alcohol, or gambling problem, or maybe he's just an abusive asshole. I don't know. Excuse my language. I don't know. There's something about the Amore card that's not quite fitting with this picture. Because the Prigione is the idea of someone being stuck. But they are stuck due to either their own choices or actions. Really, this is kind of that love is going to heal all kind of a thing. But that's not always true. Okay? So let me get my book because I want to take a closer look here at the Amore. It kind of says that the person's just not going to move. Cupid is a very flash kind of an energy. In other words, it will only last as long as the arrow wound. You see, he's shooting arrows blindly. Sometimes we end up shooting ourselves. So this passion will last only as long as it takes for the arrow wound to heal when we shoot ourselves. But this implies some kind of immovable situation here. But then all of a sudden it moves. So I don't know what this Cupido is trying to tell me here. It says it foretells of the beginning of a new romantic relationship, friendship, marriage, engagement, birth, rekindling of an old flame, or indicates that the relationship that two people share is based on a foundation of mutual affection. It is a positive card, particularly in financial matters, that says that one is in love with his or her job more than they are with the partner. I don't know if that's true. Basically, it indicates love, affection, infatuation, love at first sight, and passion. The card is self evident as love is blind when it strikes and is able to break down the protective walls that were built around the heart. That is that fortified village there, way in the background. You see it? Where's the card? See it over here? There, right there. Okay. But then here's this prigione, and that's just not a cool card. It's just not in this kind of odd. He's the nine, I think, of spades in this deck. It represents anything that chains you to a situation, a person, or an idea, such as an addiction, a dependency, an abusive relationship, or physical subjugation to another, incarceration, or being prey to one's fears and emotions. It highlights a condition of helplessness and being powerless to change events, whether this is real or just a figment. But it also represents victims. It indicates situations of deprivation and isolation and lack of support. But it also acts as a warning to the potential loss of your freedom in situations of subordination or subjugation to another. It indicates serious legal problems and trouble with the police and the presence of enemies. In love, it represents someone who is closed-hearted and does not know how to truly love. It also represents someone who is single due to a heavy character flaw or a physical handicap. In a relationship, it heralds separation and or divorce. Now, I don't know if this card is telling me that this person is going to come back, and the reason why they're coming back is financial. Okay? But that could be very well so. Let me check out this Sacerdote Militare. That's a knight. He represents the knight of spades, swords. So let's take a look at the Sacerdote. These are spades, and that's the most negative suit in the deck. It represents someone who is no older than 35. But that's not true because of this guy. So I'm going to take it that it represents someone in a position of authority who is despotic, authoritarian, and only interested in self-advancement. It also represents authority, organization, and power, physical strength, and prowess. In love, it represents someone who has trust issues, who is always afraid that their partner is cheating on them and consequently makes their life difficult by spying on their every move. Often, it means a partner who is unfaithful, and it suggests selfishness and or abuse. It also acts as a warning of possible violence. Now let's look at this Sacerdote, because he's the king of spades. I don't know who this person is, but the cards are definitely trying to tell you something. It says he is connected to justice, the legal system, and local authority. Again, like a police officer or something. It can indicate that someone will take legal action. That's what we're waiting for. It represents an adversary. Even though there's nothing personal in the nature of this antagonism, it could be part of the person's profession. In love, it indicates a relationship that has lost its passion, but that may be firmly rooted in loyalty to the other partner. But it also indicates an old relationship or an old friendship. Emotional detachment and someone who is in control of their emotions. It indicates coldness and detachment in love. The person can be 50 or older, so let's say between 30 and 50, meticulous, proud, aloof, and not particularly affectionate. It says pay attention to what the priest is pointing to, because this highlights the underlying issue. Either the sadness or the depression or this happy home card. And to me, it's pointing to this situation. I don't think the person and what else I'm picking up is that whether you realize it or not, this hangman is actually, it's this situation being on hold is actually one of divine protection. I do think the person is heading back. And even though they may come pretending to be this, that's who they are. Now, I don't know why the person is coming back. And maybe this is what you've been hoping for. You've been, holding it down. But he's reversed. And everything may seem fine at first. Let's look at this through the angel answer. Ask your question. I don't need to look at this because I'm not exactly sure what the Six of Pentacles is. I don't think they're going to give me any more information. Some kind of payment, repayment. I owe you or you owe me. But I think it's the you owe me kind of a thing. That's what it feels like. A year from now. Romance angels. Yeah, well, and coins do equal years. I don't know. Does the number 6 years, does that mean anything to anybody out there? You know what I mean? But it refers to the past. There's been 6 years of this or whatever, or it relates to 6 years. I don't know if you know what I mean, but I think you do. Romance angels. Codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. Wow. Finally, let's see what this guy has to tell us. Those 7 cups, that Neptune, this reverse King of Cups can most definitely speak to somebody with some kind of addiction. I don't know. Maybe the person's been away in counseling or something. They come back. It appears to be that everything's changed, but I don't think so. If I'm not mistaken, that is the book. Okay, so let's read a year from now. I don't know why it's telling you a year from now, but this is your answer. The event you are asking about will occur within this year or soon after. During this time interval, you're encouraged to stay optimistic and to continue with your own self-care activities and other preparations for your desire. Remember that other people's free will choices are involved. Remember I was talking about maybe you trying to heal the person? That ain't your job. Your angels are presently working behind the scenes on your behalf, even if you cannot immediately see the evidence of your answered prayers. You wonder why I say that? It's because this card, it highlights victims. Sometimes this is being a victim of your own worst inclinations, right? And that honestly, you have to get up and try to help yourself. You can't help people who don't want to help themselves. It's impossible. Maybe that's what you've been doing. You've been investing all your time in trying to do that. I don't know. Don't do it. Codependency. This card answers your question in perhaps a surprising way because Addictions are the culprit behind the issues you're attempting to resolve. This could be your own craving for a substance or unhealthy behavior, or it could be that your partner's addictions are impacting your love life. It is also an indicator of childhood experiences in an addictive family. In other words, somebody in your family may have had an addiction, whatever that addiction may have been. Okay? Addictions numb the heart to pain, but they also diminish its capacity to love. And since love is the basis of your romantic partnership, addictions become a barrier to moving forward toward true emotional intimacy. This is especially true if you are twisting yourself in knots to please a person whose dependency has lessened his or her capacity for happiness. This is a no win situation and will negatively affect your self esteem and your own happiness if you continue. Remember that where it was saying the instability, self confidence issues? It says, fortunately, there's lots of support available in the form of 12-step meetings and other addiction support fellowship models. Whether it is you or your romantic partner who has the addiction, you can find free groups near you through internet searches or by contacting a local community health center. And sometimes people are addicted to crappy ass relationships. Okay? That's the bottom line. You're addicted to being treated like shit. Excuse my language. Don't be. Okay? Why? The book. Oh, but I love him. Oh, but I love her. Okay, I wish I could have seen my face when I said that, but anyway. As long as the fool in silence remains, people may think he has half a brain. Ask advice of someone who knows more than you, experts, or people you know who love you. It is a roadmap and personal advice provided from someone we should seek out. Now there's 3 cards. There's 2 cards telling you. Okay? That's what I have for you, Cancer. I hope those messages help. And until next time, namaste.